YouTube, Ant-Man Moto here. What is up? Today, on this fine day, we are at Road Atlanta for Aprilia Racers Days. Oh my God, the most fun you can have on the track. Not real crowded. Aprilia puts on this event annually. It travels the country. If Aprilia Racer Days comes to your area, I highly suggest you go. It was a great event and they did a smash up time. There was a lot of pros here today too, practicing and riding Aprilia demo bikes. But in this session is the only session I recorded for the day, and I'm following Southeast motorcycle mechanic, technician, and track day extraordinaire, Mr. Dan. And Dan kind of gestured to me in the pits, hey man, follow me out on this next one and let's run some lines together. So I was supposed to follow Red Spade out, but I saw him like at the last second and decided, yeah, this is the time for me and Dan to put in some track time together. So he's we're taking a warm-up lap here. We just got out and just letting the tires get warm and, you know, let everybody kind of get sorted. It's not that crowded, but we exited the track all in one group, so it seems like there's a lot of people, but there's not that many people behind me. And boom, here we go. I wanted to show Dan, all right, I got the 1100. What you got? What you got? What? And then, like a magician, there he is on the left. How the hell? I'm like, wow, I'm around here with David Copperfield. That's a magician, by the way, for you young people, Google him. So we are now going up the hill. This is blind right here. And this little chicane thing right here to kind of slow you down. The track runs off to the right and you can take it much faster, but they put that in there to slow motorcycles down. Through the S's. This is the famous turn 5. Dan and this guy knew each other. He said that they've been riding together for many years. So that's not Dan being overly aggressive, don't worry. See all that speed Dan had through that turn, but he had to check up for that other rider, so gave me a chance to sneak by and show him a wheel. Holy horseradish, what is he doing over there? Dan's certifiable. That's what you call a boss pass. We don't need no stinking race line. So I got past that guy, but it screwed up my entry and I just killed that turn right there. Just totally went through there wrong, and Dan disappears as he should. He's riding good. He's feeling it. I was really enjoying myself on this day. My bike was running like amazing. The weather was perfect. It was like 70 degrees, no humidity, perfect weather. You know, I was out with a lot of cool people. My buddy Ken was there. My buddy Jake was there. Red Spade was there. My whole Southeast motorcycle shop was there. Even the guys from Savannah were there. Ooh, rumble strip. The fast guys do that all the time, but they do it because they're going fast. I just did it because I took the turn wrong. But yeah, so I was just feeling great on this day. Really thankful. And it was a Monday. This was the Monday after Moto America at Road Atlanta. I was real happy to be here and not at work. You know what I'm saying? And the Tuono will do about 158 mile an hour is the top speed I've had it through here, but it's really hard to hold on at that speed. You can't get out of the wind. And that dot up there is still Dan, and I'm just kind of putting in some consistent stuff here, and I slowly see him getting a little bit closer. And I'm really not pushing here. I'm probably riding about 75%. Because I don't want to ever push this bike to the point where I'm going to crash it. It's a real special bike to me, so I always leave some in reserve. If I had a track bike, I'd probably be going much faster than this. I used to ride A group back in the day when I had a track bike, R6. And Dan and this guy up there are going at it, man. Look out. Oh boy, it's time for the V4 to eat. V4's gotta eat. He ate him up. That V4 is no joke. And again, Dan with the Moto America line, he is passing riders by the gobful. Gobs of riders. And he is gone. Now these two riders here, the one up front is Red Spade, the lady I was supposed to go out with in this session in the first place. So I just kind of saw her and said, hey, let me film her for a while. And in that time I decided to do that. Dan hit the afterburners and he's gone. So this is Red Spade right in front of me. She's on a ZX6. Really good rider, really consistent. We ride in the mountains together from time to time, and it's our first time being on track together, I think. Now, unfortunately, right in this turn, right up there in turn 5, Dan goes into the gravel. And you could see the little puff of smoke, but that dot is Dan right there. And he had come through here in turn 5 really hot. You saw the pace he was going, and he just lost the front. So to the right there, you can see there's Dan standing, and there's Dan's bike. Fortunately, the first thing I think is hopefully he's okay. When I saw him standing up, I knew he was okay. And, you know, minimal damage to the bike also. And the very next turn, this happens. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Bobby Fong. Yep, Moto America Superbike rider and now the King of the Baggers rider. Yeah. Let's look at it again. There was like 2 feet of space to my left. He squeezes through there and just splits me in red spade and disappears. It's a trip to think we're doing the same exact activity, but we're not, you know? He's just... stratosphere is better. These guys are so fast. And I just kind of passed red spade right there, so she can see that I'm here. You know, the whole time I was following her, she didn't know I was back there, so I'm like, well, the only way she's gonna know, I gotta go by her. So I went by, and now I'm over to the right, and I've checked up so she can go back by. It's kind of like what was happening with me and Dan, except I wasn't checking up with Dan. And there she goes. So now she knows I'm back there, and now I'm just going to follow her and film her. Oh, I love the S's right here. So nice. You just kiss the curb all the way down the S's. Wherever there's a curb, you need to be kissing it. I ride my Tuono. Somebody said in the comments, you know, if I wouldn't have short shifted, I could have hung with Bobby Fong. But on this Tuono, if you don't short shift, it's going to wheelie all over the place. Ask my buddy Ken. He used to get on the power, and he just couldn't keep the front wheel on the ground. Even with wheelie control on it, still the front wheel comes up and power gets cut for a second. So the way I found to remedy that is just short shift. I don't rev it out, and I kind of get on the gas gradual and short shift, and that keeps the front wheel on the ground with the Tuono. Otherwise, you will be wheeling everywhere. That right there is Rocco Landers. Yep. I'm not sure who he's riding with, but Rocco was there because he did some riding for Aprilia over the weekend. So he hung around and he's riding like the RSV4s and the other demo bikes and just ripping on them. Rocco Landers, real cool guy, was riding red spades, the ZX6 she's on in front of me. He actually got on that bike in the pits and was doing stand-up wheelies on it. It was funny. Oh, and let me jump this curbing. Oop. Because that guy on the MT10 was coming up kind of hot in a weird spot, so I had to straight line it and get away from it for a second. But this guy was pretty aggressive, and you'll see he passes in a weird spot. And to me, that's a weird spot, but I wouldn't pass anybody there. And then he passes red spade, and look at the dirt. He goes dirt tracking, y'all. Freaking motocrosser. Out here on an MT10. I was like, okay, bro, you can have it. I mean, that trophy waiting at the end of this session, you just won it, bro. I swear, man, these track day racers, man, they be like, woo! I want to bring my bike back in one piece. That's all I'm thinking. It's like, I do not want to get out here and crash and do something stupid or cause somebody else to crash. So I'm one of the more reserved riders out here. I try to be predictable. Like Red Spade is a very predictable rider. I try to be predictable and do things that aren't going to cause like confusion with anyone. We are really cruising right now. And what I found out was, hey girl, what I found out was the reason that, well, you'll see, she never comes back by me. I passed right there, and just again to be like, hey, here I am. And so, you know, I know she's following me through these this little chicane and then through the S's. And when we come into 5, we come up here to turn 5, you'll see I make the turn, and I really am just going slow. And I'm doing that so she can get back by right here. I get way over, and now I'm not even doing 90 mile an hour. I'm cruising. But where's she at? Red Spade, where you at? She turns out, because she was having leg cramp issues, she pulled off on the little access road at turn 5. There's a road that emergency vehicles and track officials can come on and off the track with trucks or whatever, ambulances, and she took that and pulled off because of leg cramping. So I'm still riding slow. I don't realize that's happened. She told me that later. So I'm still waiting for her to come by, and at this point it dawns on me, okay, something's up. Hopefully she's okay and she didn't crash, but she's definitely not coming by. And I'm just touring, you know. And it was pretty much for the rest of the session, this is what the track was like. When I said, you know, it's not that crowded when we first went out and you saw all those riders, well, now the group that group has been like kind of spread out, and so this was what the track looked like most of the sessions I was on it. I swear I took a Tuono 660 out, a Tuono factory 660, and I saw like maybe 2 other riders on the track the whole session. It was so much empty track time. If you ever get a chance to go to Aprilia Racer Days, you really need to go. The price is a little higher, but they include lunch and pictures in that cost. So it's really no more expensive than a regular track day. But because it's got the higher price, I think it keeps people away. And they don't sign up for it. They think there's, you know, Aprilia's trying to rip everybody off, but I'm telling you, man, I had a ball on this day. Ant-Man Moto out.